All right, let's talk about the SQL technical interview. We're going to crack the code on it today, arming you with all the essential tools and, just as importantly, the confidence to not just get through it, but to really shine. Let's jump in.
You're not alone, for sure. That feeling, staring at a whiteboard, your mind goes blank, and you're trying to remember the exact syntax for some tricky query. Yeah, we've all been there. But what if you could walk into that room feeling ready, feeling confident, and prepared for pretty much anything they could throw at you?
Well, that's what we're here to do. Think of this as opening up the ultimate SQL toolbox. We're going to frame every single concept as a specific tool for a specific job. Knowing which tool to pull out for which problem, that's the real key to acing your interview. So, first things first, we need the blueprints. Before you can work with any data, you got to build the house to put it in, right? That's where data definition language, or DDL, comes in. These are the commands that literally create and manage the structure of your database. Think of it this way. Create is like laying the foundation for a brand new table. Alter is like renovating. Maybe you're adding a new room or changing a window. And drop, well, that's the demolition crew. These commands define the what and the how of your data storage. Now, here's a classic interview question. When you're making a text column, should you use CHAR or VARCHAR? The real difference is all about storage space. CHAR carves out a fixed block of space and pads any extra with spaces. So imagine storing a two-letter state code like CA in a CHAR 10 field. You are wasting 8 characters of space for every single entry. VARCHAR, on the other hand, is flexible. It only uses the space it actually needs, which in a giant table saves a massive amount of storage. And here's another big one, identifiers. So both primary and unique keys make sure values are, well, unique. But the primary key is the real star of the show. It absolutely positively cannot be null, and you only get one per table. It's the ultimate non-negotiable ID for a row. A unique key is a little more chill. It keeps things distinct, but it can allow a null value. A view is one of the most clever tools in your toolbox. It's not a real table that holds data. It's more like a saved query that just acts like a table. This is an awesome way to hide super complex joins from your users, or even to restrict what they can see, showing them only the specific columns and rows they're allowed to. It's a huge win for both simplicity and security. The delete versus truncate question. Interviewers love this one because it tests your deeper knowledge. See, delete is a DML command. It's meticulous, it goes row by row, logging each deletion. That makes it slower, but it also means you can roll it back. Truncate, on the other hand, is a DDL command. It's the demolition crew for your data. It wipes out everything at once with minimal logging, making it incredibly fast but also totally irreversible. So just remember, delete is precise and safe, truncate is fast and final. Okay, so we've got our blueprints, we've built the structure, now it's time to actually put some stuff in it and start asking questions. These next tools are the absolute workhorses of SQL, the data manipulation and query language commands you're going to be using every single day. This might be the most important filtering concept you need to nail down. Where and having both filter data, but they do it at completely different times. Where jumps in first, filtering individual rows before any grouping even happens. Then, after group by has done its job, having comes in to filter the aggregated groups themselves. You can't use something like count in a where clause, but that's exactly what having was built for. And this query shows it perfectly. Just look at the order of operations here. First, the where clause filters out everything except orders from 2025 or later. Then, group by takes those remaining rows and bundles them up by customer. And finally, the having clause looks at those groups and says, okay, I only want the customers who have more than 5 orders. See how they work as a team? So you need to stitch the results of 2 different queries together. You'll use union. But which one? Well, union does extra work. It sorts everything to find and remove any duplicate rows. Union all, however, just takes the results and stacks them right on top of each other, duplicates and all. Here's the pro tip that interviewers really appreciate. Knowing that union all is faster because it skips that whole duplicate check, it shows you're not just writing queries, you're thinking about performance. Okay, data almost never lives in just one neat little table. The real magic of a relational database is connecting data from all over the place. And for that, we need our connectors, the mighty join clauses. The inner join is your go-to, your most common connector. The best way to think about it is like a Venn diagram. It only gives you the data that exists in that little overlapping section, where a key in Table 1 has a perfect match in Table 2. If there's no match, the row doesn't make the cut. A left join is different. It plays favorites with the first or left table. It's basically saying, give me every single row from this left table. I don't care what. And hey, if you happen to find a match for it over in the right table, bring that data along too. If not, just put null. And you can probably guess a right join is the exact mirror image of that. It guarantees you'll get every single row from the right table, and it'll pair it up with any matching data from the left, or just fill in with null if no match is found.
Then you've got the full outer join, which is the most inclusive of them all. It's pretty much a left join and a right join combined. It brings back all the rows from both tables, matching them up where it can, and just filling in the gaps with nulls on either side where matches don't exist. It's how you get the whole picture from both sides of the story. All right, now that we've got the essentials down, let's open that top drawer of the toolbox. These are the pro tools. These are the concepts that show your interviewer that you're not just a beginner, but you're someone who can write really clean, efficient, and powerful SQL. A common table expression, or a CTE, is your absolute best friend when you're dealing with a complicated query. It lets you define a temporary result set and give it a name right at the beginning of your query using a with clause. This lets you break down a massive, confusing monster query into logical, readable steps. It is a total game changer for writing code that other people can actually understand. And that brings us to window functions. Oh man, these things are incredibly powerful. Instead of squashing all your rows down with a group by, a window function can do a calculation across a whole set of rows, but keep all the individual rows intact. This example here is calculating a running total of sales for each product, ordered by date. This is the kind of tricky analysis that used to require messy, horrible self-joins, but now you can do it in one clean, elegant step. Speaking of window functions, ranking things is a super common task. But which function do you use? This table makes it really clear. Row number is simple. It just gives every row a unique number, one after the other. Rank will give tied values the same rank, but then it skips the next number, creating a gap. So you'll see 1, 1, then 3. Dense rank also gives ties the same rank, but it doesn't leave a gap. So you'll get 1, 1, and then 2. Knowing which one to use is crucial for getting the exact result you need. Okay, you've built the structure, you've written the query, you've even used some advanced tools. Now, it's time for the final polish. Because answering a question about query optimization, that shows you're not just thinking about getting the right answer, but about getting it efficiently. So, if they ask you, how would you speed up this slow query? This is your checklist. You tell them you'd start by using explain to see what the database is actually doing under the hood. Then you check for proper indexes. Make sure you're filtering with a where clause as early as you can. You'd avoid the lazy select star, and you look for any clunky patterns to rewrite. That's a comprehensive, professional answer right there. And that's our tour through the essential SQL toolbox. Mastering these tools will absolutely give you a huge edge in any technical interview. But remember, the real goal isn't just to write the right syntax. It's about asking the right questions of your data. So the next time you write a query, don't just think about what it does. Think about the story it's helping you tell.